Welcome back to the Daily Dose of Hebrew Weekend Edition. Today we are in 1 Samuel 3:13, and we'll read, translate, and then chat about some syntax pieces. So let's read this together in Hebrew. Vehigadti lo ki shofet, ani et beto, ad olam, ba'avon asher yada ki mekalelim lahem banaiv. Velo chiha bam. For an overall translation, before discussing details, we have this: and I declare to him that judging I am, or that I am judging, if we translate this contextually with the same inceptive participle as in 3:11, we actually could get and I am about to judge, and that's probably the best thing here. And I declare to him that I am about to judge his house, as the direct object here, forever or until eternity. The bait here is best translated as for the sake of or on account of the iniquity which he knew, because his sons were blasphemers themselves. Now, the idea is that they were blaspheming God, and as many English renditions will add God, even though it's not in the Hebrew text itself. Now, the final clause here then is, and he, Eli here is the implied subject, he did not rebuke them, or he did not restrain them, would be another way to say it. So going back to the top, the first verbal here is a Hifil perfect 1CS of Nagad, Nun Gimel Dalet, meaning to declare. Now remember, with R1 Nun verbs, or with verbs with a Nun in that R1 position, the initial Nun in a silent schwa position will assimilate. So the Dagesh forte here in the Gimel is that R1 Nun. So instead of hin godti, we actually get he godti. I declare to him. What is the Lord declaring to Eli? He is declaring that judging I am. So ki gets translated as that here. I know that sounds backwards, but I'm just going through one word at a time. In 3:11, we had a participle that we translated as what we called an inceptive. I am about to do. And here we can keep that context going by translating this participle as an inceptive too. I declare to him that I am about to judge. Now the direct object is his house here. And I think we can all see contextually that the house here is not Eli's physical dwelling place, but his dynasty, his sons more specifically, as we will see. The final constituent in the Athnach segment here is ad olam. And this serves as an adverbial accusative of time, indicating how long, namely until eternity or forever. Next, the bait, along with iniquity here, is best understood as on account of or for the sake of, and it provides the reason why the Lord is going to judge, namely on account of the iniquity of Eli's sons. And we next get the relative clause, the iniquity which he knew. Yada is the call perfect 3ms with Eli as the implied subject. The next key clause tells us what Eli knew, specifying the iniquity. The verbal form here is a PL participle. It's a masculine plural absolute of the root kalal, kof lamed lamed. Now, you may ask where the dagesh is in the R2 lamed, since this is a distinguishing mark of the PL. We want to see that dagesh in the R2. And here's the answer. The sibilants, the nun, the mem, the lamed, the vav, and the yod, when they have a dagesh forte and a vocal schwa, they will often omit that dagesh forte. Now, I teach these as the Skinnem Levi letters, but it's always difficult to remember this rule. And this is indeed a PL, though, meaning to blaspheme. We have to reach the zakef to get the subject, his sons. Lahim here follows blasphemers kind of reflexively, we may say. They were blasphemers for themselves, and this construction highlights that Hophni and Phinehas were fully responsible for their iniquity in addition to Eli. Many English translations will add God in here, that Eli's sons were blaspheming God. And certainly, I think the context indicates that, but just keep in mind, too, that the word God is not in the text here. The final clause gives us Eli's lack of reaction to his son's blasphemy. We can translate the vav here as but, since this is kind of a resulting negative outlook, but he did not rebuke or restrain them. The verb kiha is a PL perfect 3ms with Eli as the implied subject. And this is the only occurrence of this verb in the Hebrew Bible. And with the hey in the R2 position, we get the implied dagesh forte of the PL morphology. We know it's implied because we didn't get any compensatory lengthening here in the R1. It remains a heric. And so as a PL stem, the dagesh forte in the R2 is implied here. One final translation then will hopefully bring all this together for us today. And I declare to him that I am about to judge his house forever, on account of the iniquity which he knew that his sons were blaspheming for themselves, and he did not rebuke them. That's pretty stout day today, so we'll end right there, and until next time, shalom.